First though, let's look at the crop numbers, and I love seeing these harvest numbers get bigger and bigger each week. The USDA's latest report sets corn at 76% harvested, and that's roughly in line with the 5-year average. Soybeans are 83% complete and 6 points behind the 5-year average. The winter wheat crop is 84% planted, with 70% of that crop now emerged. We'll dive into those numbers and more with our market analyst. Todd Hultman is our first guest this week. He's a grain market analyst with DTN. We always love hearing his insight. Todd, thanks for being here this week.
Thank you, Troy.
Well, to begin, it seems like harvest is chugging along. How's it look from your perspective?
It's a bit split. A month and a half ago, everything looked great. We were looking for a big corn harvest and a record soybean harvest, and then we got this just massive wave after wave of rain through a lot of the Midwest and even snow in some areas. So I think corn will do probably just fine and come out still close to its target, and USDA will have another number for us on Thursday. But in the case of soybeans, there's been a lot of damage done, and to be honest, I don't think we'll probably have a good crop assessment for that till maybe the grain stocks report in January.
What role do you see weather playing in the short term?
In the short term, probably the damage is done, and we are near the backside of the harvest. And on the western side, it sounds like things will be drier, so that'll help us get things done. But we also have some cold weather coming in, so it still remains a bit up in the air.
Soybean planting is moving along well in Brazil. Anything we need to keep an eye on there as to how it could affect producers here at home?
Yeah, well, certainly. South America is something we're going to continue to monitor through the growing season. And as you say, they're off to a good growing start. It looks like they have broad coverage of beneficial rain. Now, some areas, they might be in danger of getting too much rain. And in fact, this week there are some concerns about possible flooding in parts of Argentina. So we'll continue to watch those things. But still, overall, we're looking for a bigger crop from Brazil and Argentina.
So when I last spoke to you in August, I got your thoughts on the trade issues with China. Here we are in November, and still, we've got trade issues with China. Trump did say he's going to meet with China's president at the G20 summit in a few weeks. Any cause for optimism here?
Cautious optimism, I'll say. There's certainly still a good argument for both sides to get together and find some kind of common ground on this issue, and especially in the area of soybeans. Another factor that has come into play is just recently Brazil has elected a new president, and while he seems to be very pro expanding their soybean acre base, at the same time he's very reluctant to encourage any more Chinese investment in Brazil. He's very concerned about the influence they're having in their country. So that's another kind of a wild card into this situation that may help China come to the table.
Anything else you're following as we get closer to wrapping up harvest?
Well, the big concern has been the same concern all year, and that's our trade status with China, and especially for our soybeans. We have seen almost no participation in our export markets from China in the new crop season, and that's been a bit of a surprise, just how firm they are in their stance to avoid U.S. markets. Some are saying they could be able to continue that stance of basically no U.S. soybeans until Brazil's next crop comes due. I'm still not completely certain about that. We'll watch it, but that is certainly a big cause of concern for our soybean market. But the number one concern right now is what are we going to do with all this corn and soybeans that we have out there, and definitely we need to get our trade going to move that grain along.
And finally, any news from DTN as we get closer to the end of the year?
Well, we've got our big egg summit in Chicago coming up first week of December. We always look forward to that. We get together with customers and have lots of great speakers and topics and informal conversations as well. So always looking forward to that.
Todd Hultman, we appreciate your time. We'll do it again soon.
Thank you, Troy.